Alright, today I'm going to show you how to replace an LED light strip off the boom or arm on a WL Toys V222 Quadcopter. Okay, today I got to switch out this LED here. It's defective and I've ordered some extra ones from banggood.com and I'll replace with those. First thing we need to do is disconnect this light bar and then this boom and take this boom off so we can work on it. So to do that, I need to disconnect the canopy. I've used Velcro to hold mine on. I found over time that the clips wear off and it just ends up falling off during flight. So we're going to take this apart and we're going to carefully disconnect the LED lights from the board that are housed on the canopy. Okay, remove the canopy. And now we just got our board. Okay, so again, this is the one I need to replace, so we're going to work from this side here. Okay, we have two connectors now remaining. We have the next one in from the corner, which is the LED light bar, and then the last one, which is the motor for that prop. So those are disconnected. Now we just remove the arm by pulling straight out from the housing or the frame of the quadcopter. Okay, now again, I need to remove this one, so I could just able to pull the shrink wrapping off, or the clip off the last one, which will help free it. It's stuck on the wire, so I'm just going to cut that off. Not sure if you can see that or not. There we go. Remove just that small piece of plastic, which we don't need anymore. I have one more on there, so I'm just going to use a utility knife, ensuring I keep the wires in my hands in a safe area. I'm just going to score that a couple of times, nice and easy. Again, not to damage the boom or my hands. Okay, there we go. There's the old LED, which we don't need anymore, so I'll get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to take some 3/16 shrink tubing. Okay, I'm just going to cut it into small strips that will allow it to stay in between the two LEDs of the LED strip. Okay, because I have black, I don't have clear here. So I'm just going to take small pieces here. Again, this will fit in between the two LED modules, which will allow the light to go through. And now my end piece, okay, we're aiming to, let's get the camera focused there. Okay, we want to cover this circuit board and hold the wires down a bit on this side here. That will allow a little bit more strength on the wire when pulling and tugging. It won't become disconnected from the board. So I'm just going to make sure that I have enough to cover that and a little bit more. Alright, so there are my two pieces of shrink wrap and ready to go. So the first one we put on is the smallest piece. Okay, again, just feed it through the connector. That's why we went with 3/16 shrink tubing, because it'll allow it to pass through the connector. And then the larger one, which will be the closest to the frame of the body. And there we go. So the first one we're going to put on, we're going to slide it right underneath and make sure that it goes. Leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch between your motor housing and your LED bar, just in case you have to remove your motor housing later on. I'm not going to use a hot air gun, I'm just going to use a lighter in order to cause the shrink wrap to contract, just by holding it underneath slightly. You don't want to get the flame right on the shrink wrap or it'll melt it, but you can use the heat to help it contract. There we go. Okay. Next we're going to do this side. Same thing, just put it right over. Notice how I fold the wires down towards the light and then place the shrink wrap over top of it. Again, that'll give strength to the wire when it's being tugged on. Again, just a little bit of heat with the lighter. Don't want to hit it directly, or it will cause it to melt. Again, that's just if you don't have a hot air gun or don't want to pull it out for such a small job. There you go. So that now is attached and ready to go. So I have to reattach this whole boom back to the quadcopter. Bring that back into play here. Make sure that your wires are on the top, coming from your motor lead or your motor extension. Make sure there's no twists in it because they do get caught and snagged on the frame, which you can see there's a small hole at the top which houses your wires and keeps them safe. Slide that in until it stops, and then we can plug this stuff back in. So first would be your motor lead, which is coming out from the boom, and that is your inside most connector on the V222. Okay, your next one in is your boom lights. So take this up and plug it straight in there. Now before I get any further, I'm just going to test the lights, make sure they work. Just hook up a battery here because it will be in binding mode automatically. It's going to turn its lights on. Oh, there we go. The one I replaced is working, but I just noticed the one up here is not. So that means we're going to need to replace it again. It's just a connection. But there we go. We have all four working. Replacement has been done. So we know that is there. We can then just reassemble the canopy and it's ready to fly. Thank you.